Good morning. Welcome to Get Real with Rick. Hi guys, we are live. This is Get Real with Rick Dancer, and what you're looking at is 5th Street right there, the 5th Street Public Market over here, and this is going to be the new 5th Street. The problem in Eugene for over 100 years has been that there's no riverfront access. Nothing goes right down to the river. Well, now that's going to change because that street, 5th Avenue, is going to go all the way down under the viaduct and right down to the Willamette River. So joining us, our show is sponsored by Togo's John Anderson. He's over there. John, wave. There you go. And then we have Emily, and she's going to talk a little bit about how the parks are going and how some of this is going. And this is Denny. So what, Denny, tell
The city of Eugene has been working on this riverfront project for the better of maybe 20 years. And so our involvement really is we've acquired this redevelopment site and we're putting it into action, and it's going to be a beautiful new riverfront for all of Eugene. So it's a project we've been working on, property plan, and now it's coming to fruition.
And you guys, so this is what Eugene's riverfront could look like. This is just a plan. This is an idea of what could happen. And what I want to show you while we're here, so because we're going to walk down to the river first, but Denny, do this for me. Over here, so you guys, over across the street here, right in this area here, what's that going to be, Denny, right over there?
Currently it's being proposed some apartments, townhomes along 4th Street in that particular area.
And then this lot, terrace right here, what's that going to be?
Yeah, it's the area adjacent to 5th Street Market, and it's a mixed-use area. It could have a hotel, apartments. We also have or retain one of the parcels to bring forward some affordable housing as well. So it's a mix of housing, retail, potentially a hotel.
All right, so let's walk down 5th Street. I think this is so cool. You can
It is cool.
It's amazing.
So Emily,
I'm a project manager for the Downtown Riverfront Park project. I'm a landscape architect from Parks Planning Office.
so this is a mix of housing and retail and hotels and parks and space and
Yes.
bike paths and
All the
everything that
things.
Eugene's known for.
Absolutely. And so the Riverfront Park has always been kind of a cornerstone of the master plan for this site. People, through the master planning process, designers and architects and city staff and eWeb staff worked with thousands of people to come up with this vision for this site in which we would reach the river, and the river meets the city and the city meets the river. So we're about to go down there and check that out. But Denny,
So what is this right here?
So what I'm going to show you is Parcel. This is what we're calling Parcel 7. So we've just come underneath the viaduct, and the Parcel 7 is where the first building is being proposed in the redevelopment of our riverfront. And this is the concept that we're currently working on. So it's a apartment building. There's about approximately 100 apartment units, has retail on the ground floor. It faces out onto what will be one day our Downtown Riverfront Plaza, which is part of the park. High quality building, 4-story building in this concept. And this is what the project that we're currently working on as far as the first building that'll be built as part of the redevelopment project.
Okay, Denny, I want you to do something for me. This is what live television's all about. I want you to hold this thing for me. We're going to modify something here. So guys, I am going to pull this off. Hang on just a second. This is how it works. Sometimes you have to improvise, guys. And that's what we're going to do. Okay, so I'm going to put this back on the unit. You guys, I heard somebody saying that the audio was coming in kind of funny. And that is because I had my case on. So now I'm going to readjust. There we go. Should be better. Shouldn't be cutting in and out. So I'm going to point this out that direction again. So again, there's Northwest Community Credit Union.
Yes.
The federal courthouse right in there.
So
And tell them again, just in case people didn't hear what that's going to be right there.
it's basically going to be a apartment building with some retail on the ground floor, about 100 apartment units, high quality development that faces with some retail on the ground floor that faces out onto our new public park plaza. And so what you're looking at right now is where our Downtown Riverfront Park Plaza would be, and the idea would be that this development, as well as a restaurant development, and would all face out onto our beautiful new Downtown Riverfront Park.
So
and this is an image of that.
Oh,
plaza,
here you go, guys. Look at this. So this
might be what you would look out onto from, maybe a little closer in from where we're standing. But this is the idea of, it may not look exactly like this. It's this kind of high concept, but it's a really active, family-friendly place. It's a place where people want to bring their families, and it's not just for the new neighborhood here, but also for everyone in Eugene, and it's a destination.
So tell me a little bit about, you guys, this is the old steam plant right there.
Yep.
And so what's the plan for the steam plant?
We have a different group of developers that we are negotiating with to potentially acquire the steam plant. City of Eugene owns it right now, and it would be redeveloped as a mixed-use building that hopefully would have some brew pub, a place to have a beer on the river, some community space, some art, some flexible office space for creative companies and those types of things. That's the vision. It's really intended to be kind of the gathering spot for the community along the river and the anchor kind of activity generator on the river as well.
Okay, let's walk down this way. So how many acres are we talking here?
There's about 16 acres in total. I think, Emily, the Riverfront Park is about total 4 acres with the plaza.
Correct. 4.5 acres with the plaza. The plaza itself is about an acre.
So what happens, and you guys may be the wrong people to talk about this, but what happens to the EWEB building? Is that up to the council? Because they can make that into a city hall if they want, or they can not do that, right?
It's really up to, it's a partnership with EWEB. It's not just up to the council. It's something that EWEB still owns it. They're still in the building. They have a high-tech company in the building. Council has looked at it, and at this point we don't have a plan for that building.
Okay.
And so I would put that in EWEB's hands in partnership with the city to decide what the future of that building is. But it has been looked at for public uses like City Hall, but at this point we have a different plan for City Hall that's pretty exciting as well. So
you guys, this is the Downtown Riverfront development that we're all seeing happen. We've seen buildings torn down, and John Anderson from Togo's, I said, John, let's go find out what's going on here. You have a business downtown, so talk to me real quick. So as a guy who has a business that's in downtown Eugene, what is your thought?
Well, I think this is really kind of neat. As Denny just pointed out, which is behind you now, it used to be, a parking lot full of vehicles, telephone pole or power poles, just, it was equipment yard. And now, if you look at it, now that it's been regraded, it has the potential of being a beautiful multi-use development. As he said, there's going to be mixed use of commercial and apartments that people can live down here. And then the steam plant, as it looks old and crusty right now, it's a beautiful building that can be turned into.
You've been in it.
Yeah, I have when I was much younger, and it was operating steam plant, but. It's airy in there. There's huge windows. It's bright, and the potential for what it can be in the future is really kind of exciting.
So you've lived here a lot of your life, and you've looked at this.
Yeah.
It's been talked about for years.
Oh yeah, it's kind of fun to finally see us do something about it. And then we haven't been over here yet, but the bike path that used to go along here, and the river bed or river bank has been redone, or is in the process of being redone. New plants are being planted down there, and you'll actually be able to walk down to the river. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct. Yes.
So we're still standing on Fifth Street.
So show me the park.
Okay, well, come on down here.
Okay, let's go.
We'll
I love seeing this stuff. Because when you live here for 30 years of your life or whatever, you could.
It was all fenced off, right? And so this is actually the future restaurant site, just to our right here. And then the plaza's just beyond that. There's a little mound there. It's a great spot to stand up from. River's running pretty high. It's probably at about the ordinary high water level right now, and we're not doing any work below that level. So we're not doing any in-water work. But we're doing everything above that high water.
So for us runners and bikers, we'll get our path back, right?
It's going to be right here. Right here. So it's going to bend. It's going to connect to the EWEB Plaza there, and then it's going to bend around out and back by the tower and tuck back into the steam plant over there.
And how far does the development go? Is it just past the steam plant?
Yeah. So the property we own just goes just behind the steam plant, but the path will extend over to the U of O property, where and that project, we're scheduled to reconstruct that bike path also within this coming year before 2021.
Okay, how will the infrastructure of the roadways and the bridge be affected by this? What's the plan for traffic? Ferry Street Bridge already loaded. That's what people are asking.
I don't think this is going to be a huge traffic generator. We'll have a lot of people living here, and I think it connects well. We have two different connections, the 5th Street connection and the 8th Street connection, so I think there's two different ways to get in and out of the site.
Yeah.
And so I think we've looked at that, and I don't think we anticipate any major traffic problems associated with the development. It's really just an extension of downtown, and we have the infrastructure to really support the development downtown.
I don't think you're the right person for this question, but I'm just going to, and you can tell me yes or no or whatever, but somebody was asking here, so they're bringing up the issue of homelessness. How do you keep people from doing what they do in downtown Eugene to here?
Well, there are pressures across the community with this issue, right? It's not just parks, it's not just downtown, it's everywhere. And I think, you're seeing, at least for city parks, we're putting a ton of effort and funding toward keeping parks safe for everyone. So we have, to that end, with the new parks levy this last year, we have 2 full-time police officers that we work with just in parks. We have 3 full-time park ambassadors with more seasonally. And they work very hard on working with homeless camps, cleaning them up. We have dedicated crews that clean up homeless camps, and really a ton of work they do also is around social service and identifying social service for a lot of people. And so it goes well beyond just kicking people out of parks or not allowing bad behaviors. It's really about trying to take care of people and help them get what they need, and also keep parks safe for everyone's use. We see a ton of all of the parks are under incredible pressure. All of our public spaces are. It's a reality across this country, and we're not alone.
Any chance that there's a parking structure involved with the design? Somebody's asking. People are into this.
There's a couple of different development concepts depending on how the economics work out for the developers, but some of the parking concepts do have embedded parking, meaning parking, underground parking garage kind of parking underneath some of these buildings. But at this point, there is not a standalone single parking garage plan for the site. We're looking at addressing parking embedded in the development sites themselves.
So timeline. Give me a timeline when we'll see. And if you need to go over to you, Emily, I can.
Well, it starts with Emily, so I'm going to let...
Okay, so timeline.
Yeah, timeline. So we've already started construction here. As you can see, we took about 10,000 cubic yards off the riverbank and re-armored it, and we'll be planting all of this. But we did a lot of earth moving this last summer. We moved a ton of utilities off the bank. We did some tree removals to create views, and we're actively replanting right now. We are out for bid for the next phase of work, which will construct all of the elements that you're seeing in all of these pretty pictures. And contractors will have a year to construct that. So the directive and the goal is to have a park on the river by 2021. And so you'll see a lot of construction down here this coming summer. And it's going to be really interesting. I think, we have big overlooks that reach way over these new banks. We have decks, viewing decks. There's another overlook at the end. There's a beautiful bike path. There's stormwater facilities, lighting, furniture, artwork, interpretive artwork. It's really going to be exceptional and a wonderful place to be.
So, Steve, I want to answer your question. You said there should be a bridge that takes you from the park over to this development. So I'm going to show you. There is right there the Peter DeFazio Bridge right there. It just means that you get a little exercise and you can come down, but there is that bridge. Chances of building another one are pretty slim.
And Rick, I will add that as part of this park work, the park site does extend from the Peter DeFazio Bridge all the way to the University of Oregon property to the south here. And part of this work is really enhancing that connection at the north end. So we're going to we're going to construct a new walk up that bank and a set of stairs so that connection to the bridge is really obvious and fully accessible.
And easier for people to get on.
Way easier. It's kind of a scramble right now. It's a little bit of a no man's land. It's going to be just much better.
Okay, now then
the next thing would be the infrastructure. So there's a series of streets that connect this riverfront district, and we have the streets designed. We are going out to bid this spring for the construction of those roads, that network, and it'll start under construction this summer, so it'll be done kind of simultaneously with the park. And then the first development, the one we showed you on Parcel 7, would likely start kind of at the end of this year, the end of 2020, as the road construction is starting to kind of get finished up. So that's what we're looking at. And then our hopes really is that we would just see kind of continuous construction over the next few years, new buildings coming out of the ground kind of on a roughly annual basis as the district gets built out.
So the city owns the property, but you're not doing the development.
No, we are not. Our intent is to sell the property to, currently we're negotiating, we have a development agreement actually with Williams and Dame, a development entity out of Portland that's done a lot of high quality development in Portland, and we're really excited about partnering with them as well.
John, you have any questions for Denny?
Emily? Well, I had one other question with regards to access. Down at the south end where there's a crossing over the railroad tracks there at Hilliard, do you think that will be open to have a southern access? Or will all that come in from 5th Street?
We're from both, actually. We have a design for the crossing, what we call the 8th Street crossing. It'll be part of our quiet zone that gets implemented throughout the city, and so you will be able to come across 8th Street, across the railroad tracks, enter in near the steam plant, and really be able to navigate through the site all the way to 5th Street. We kind of call it a loop. Be able to loop from 8th Street to 5th Street to really get through the site.
So you'll actually be able to drive from 5th over to 8th.
There's a road that goes along the railroad tracks and connects with 5th Street. So you really can navigate through the district and have two places to enter and exit the district.
Oh, that'll be very enhancing.
So as a downtown business owner, what else do you have to ask him?
When's it going to be done?
The good news is it's started. So like you mentioned this early, it's so exciting to see this finally happen and see some kind of dirt being moved around and so forth. So we're excited about getting started. The park will be done before our 2021 World Championship event, and that's been a goal all along. So we're super excited about getting the ball rolling, and we're going to get there. It's going to be done.
How do you get people, for people in the community, how do they get involved in this, find out more, whatever like that?
The good news is that what you're seeing happening right now is based on the involvement of the community. We've done years of community involvement and engagement. This is the collective vision of the community. So what you're seeing is involve the community. From here forward, there will definitely be opportunities our goal really at this point is to have the community get excited about it and get excited about the park and come to the park and support our efforts in getting all of this done, because I think it is the community's vision at this point.
Well, can I add one thing? Yeah. I mean, or a comment in that I haven't seen this for 12 months, this area for 12 months. And truthfully, as we were putting this together yesterday, now is not the time to really come out and look at it. With a little bland, and it was awfully wet yesterday. Awfully wet yesterday. But as the weather does get better, certainly having some access for people, either through planned events or whatnot, to come out and actually visualize it. It's inspiring.
It is.
Even as gray as it is today, it's inspiring.
Yeah, I love this right here. Denny, if you move over to your left. I'm kicking Denny out. But that's 5th Street, and it finally goes from the Whitaker to all the way to the river. And I think that is going to be huge for people coming to visit for track meets and for football games and for everything. This will be kind of the hub of where people collect. I think I could see maybe a Togo's right there, right there, John.
Yeah, hanging on that the second window over there.
Yeah.
Will this have LTD come through once the new roads are developed?
We're working on all the transportations. It's a little bit early for that, but we have been having some discussions about how do we get the people who live here access to our public transit system and get on their bikes and use the bike path and use the buses and all that stuff. So that's part of the plan as well.
I'm going to ask just because I got a lot of people from the different abilities community. So instead of access for people with different abilities?
All about it. Fundamentally, this park and this project is for everyone. And so anytime we design parks, universal access it's really fundamental to what we do and providing service and park service for everyone. Especially a park like this, which is a metropolitan park. It's a regional draw, and we really, we will have a playground that will be universally accessible. We will have spaces where everyone can participate. it's just integral to everything we do, and I think this site is really no different. And in fact, we should be doing everything we can to bring it to the next level. And I think we're really doing that actually with a lot of these outlooks and stuff. It's going to be so wonderful. Everyone's going to be able to see something that they've never seen before in this spot, at least not for 100 years. So.
And finally, more than 2 restaurants on the river.
Oh,
Which is the weirdest thing I've ever thought about. Eugene and Springfield, we have 2 restaurants, well, 3. Yeah, 3 restaurants on the river. Isn't that right? Yeah, and we have all this beautiful river access, and now you're going to be able to enjoy it as a community. So, John, thank you. Thanks to Togos for doing this. I just wanted to come see it, and I think this is really good for people to come out, and you see all the work being done, but now you can kind of have a vision for what's going to happen. So there you go, guys. Eugene is changing. We're growing up. We're finally going to wonder why Eugene Skinner didn't pay more attention to that river, because it used to flood all the time. It was a pain.
That's why.
All right, thanks, you guys. All right, you guys, thank you.